Elise kept her expression calm as she addressed Princess Rachel. Your Highness, I'm fine. Please don't be angry. Rachel, however, was stern. This is a matter of etiquette. It's the Duchess' birthday, and you outrank her. How could she not attend? It's unacceptable. The Duchess hesitated. But, Elise, call the girl down now, Rachel ordered. Elise nodded, her smile faint. Yes, Your Highness. Masa, bring Sally. Whispers spread among the guests. Duke Esteban's mistress? She's never been seen in society. What kind of woman did he bring into his manor? What sort of woman captured his heart? Elise smirked to herself. Casus, watch your mistress be humiliated. She'll learn she doesn't belong here. From across the room, Duke Esteban observed silently. So Elise arranged this to disgrace her. But it won't go as planned. Marcus Lionel, known for his scandals, approached with a smirk. Your Grace, is it true you've taken a mistress? Yes, the Duke replied evenly. Unbelievable. You've never shown interest in women. What kind of woman managed to win your favor? The Duke's gaze softened. She's like a cat, wary, unpredictable, gentle yet ready to strike if provoked. And I keep wanting to look at her, to touch her. Lionel chuckled. That will stir the rumors. The orchestra played on as Sally entered. Dressed with quiet elegance, she carried herself confidently despite the stares. The room stilled as she curtsied before the Duchess. I hesitated to come, but Masa said I was summoned. Thank you for inviting me. I wish you a happy birthday. Thank you, Elise said smoothly, though her eyes darkened. Princess Rachel cut in. How shameless, arriving so late. You should have been here earlier. Sally bowed her head respectfully. I greet your Highness. My name is Sally. It is true I should have arrived sooner, but preparing to dress properly took time. I ask for your understanding. Rachel faltered, unprepared for such composure. Elise quickly interjected. Your Highness, Sally was unwell. She could hardly leave her room. Rachel frowned. She looks fine. I heard her face was burned, yet it's flawless. Did you lie to the Duchess? A hush fell. Elise turned sharply to Sally. That's not true, right? Sally smiled faintly. Of course not, madam. Why would I lie? Masa stepped forward, furious. How dare you mock her grace? Everyone knows your face was scalded with tea. Kneel and beg forgiveness. Sally tilted her head. I don't understand. Why do you keep insisting my face was burned? The room grew tense. My body was burned, not my face. Gasps spread through the hall. Elise's face paled. What? It's impossible for tea to spill on someone's face unless deliberate. Yet you insist it was my face. Curious. It sounds as though you know exactly how the incident happened, Sally said steadily. Whispers turned into suspicion. Masa faltered. The doctor never said where she was burned. Perhaps the servants assumed. Then she snapped in desperation. If you were burned on your body, prove it. Show us. She lunged, but before she could touch Sally, Duke Esteban stepped in. Pulling Sally firmly to his side, his voice cut through the crowd. There is no need to check. His gaze swept over the hall, unshaken. I am the witness. As the tension in the grand ballroom mounted, Duke Esteban's commanding voice cut through the whispers. There is no need to check. I am the witness, he declared, silencing every murmur. Princess Rachel faltered while Casus stepped closer to Sally, touching her face with feigned concern. I told you not to leave your room until you recovered. You're too stubborn. Do you know how it pains me to see the scar on your body? He said with a mix of pity and condescension. Sally's expression did not waver. She raised her hand to his face, but before she could speak, the Duke's sharp voice redirected the attention. Masa. The maid flinched and bowed. Yes, Your Grace? Who is the woman before you? She is my mistress, Your Grace, Masa answered carefully. Then you should know she is not to be insulted. Kneel. Now. Gasps spread as Masa hesitated, then obeyed. Please forgive me for calling you a liar, she muttered. I spoke rashly, influenced by rumors. Sally tilted her head, calm yet firm. You're educated, Masa. You should know your fault. When you accused me, you didn't address me properly. You spoke without respect. Am I wrong? Masa paled. Forgive me, Miss Sally. The Duke's voice carried again. The Duchess's maid has acknowledged Sally as my mistress. What do you say, Elise? Elise forced a gracious smile. Masa is devoted to me and sometimes acts foolishly. I'll discipline her. Let's leave it at that. Sally returned her gaze steadily. Today is your birthday, madam. Let us end the matter here. A minuet began to play, filling the hall. Duke Esteban turned to Sally. Sally, let's dance. Elsie's smile faltered, and Rachel whispered, "Oh dear." Sally smiled sweetly at Elsie instead. "Your Grace, today is Madame's celebration. You should dance with her first." She knew the trap. If she accepted, she would seem like the arrogant mistress, leaving Elsie the role of the slighted wife. "Very well," the Duke replied smoothly, offering his hand to Elsie. Rachel urged, "Duchess, accept him." With no choice, Elsie placed her hand in his and curtsied. "I am honored." "You know I did not wish this," the Duke murmured as they danced. "I know," she replied softly. "Your mistress is smarter and prettier than I imagined. I'll give her my attention, as much as possible." His expression did not shift. "Remember, Elsie, men have destroyed wives for their mistresses. You will never triumph over me." "We shall see," she thought. Around them, nobles admired the pair. What a beautiful couple, the angelic Duchess and the noble Duke. Others glanced at Sally. "She just looks pitiful. After all, she's only a commoner." Sally's gaze remained sharp. "I knew this would happen. In my past life, I would have danced without realizing. But I've learned from you, Elsie, sometimes appearing weak is more useful." Soon, the floor filled with dancers, but Sally stood alone. Sally's thoughts drifted back. When I danced with him before, how did I look? As the music ended, Duke Esteban stepped away from Elsie and moved toward Sally. His presence drew every eye. "I'm glad to see you've been resting well," he said in a low voice, "after making me do something terrible." Sally met his gaze, her composure faltering for just a moment. The grand hall buzzed with murmurs, the weight of countless eyes pressing down on her, yet she had managed to endure. "I'm glad to see you've been resting," Duke Esteban said, as he stood beside her, his tone even, "after forcing me to do something unpleasant." "Oh, is the dance already over?" she asked. "Yes. Once was more than enough," he replied softly. He must have truly disliked it, Sally thought. Her gaze drifted toward Elise's table, where nobles tried to hide their laughter. She could already imagine the whispers that would follow. The Duke leaned closer. "Sally, you said you can dance, didn't you? Then let's." Startled, she looked up. "All right." She placed her hand in his. "It's time we look like a proper couple." As the next melody began, she added with a faint laugh, "I may not be perfect, so please take care of me." The Duke studied her. "This piece is difficult for beginners. Will you manage?" Sally's lips curved with quiet confidence. "Of course. Did you forget I was part of a troupe?" He hesitated. "But still, don't worry," she cut him off lightly. "I've seen plenty as the maid of the capital's best dancer." As they moved in rhythm, her perfume brushed against him, stirring an old memory. His breath caught for a moment while Sally kept her composure. "No one can outpace me in a dance," she thought. Their steps drew stares of admiration across the hall, even as Elsie watched with a hidden glare. That night, in her chamber, Elise's whip struck Massa's back. The maid trembled but held back her cries. "Massa, who am I?" Elsie asked coldly. "You are the Duchess Esteban, your grace," came the trembling reply. "Correct, the Duchess Esteban. Someone beyond comparison." "Then why were they looking at her instead of me?" "Because his grace told them she's his mistress," Massa admitted. "Otherwise, they wouldn't have noticed her." Elsie stilled, then exhaled. Setting the whip aside, she spoke evenly. "Yes, without the Esteban name, she is nothing." She turned away. "Write letters to the women who attended. Thank them for coming. The details don't matter, only my name and the family crest on the seal. That will remind them whose side to take." Meanwhile, in the Duke's quarters, he sat by the fire, the memory of the dance lingering, her confidence, her scent, the ease with which she moved. Restless, he stepped outside, only to meet Evan carrying a tray. "Master, are you going for a walk?" Evan asked. "Who sent that?" the Duke asked, eyeing the tray. "Miss Sally requested wine." The Duke's gaze shifted. "I see." In her room, Sally sighed, rubbing her temples. Today was exhausting. A knock followed. "Come in." She turned, expecting Evan, but froze. "Your Grace? Why are you here so late?" The Duke closed the door behind him. "Don't look so surprised. I just wanted to talk." She frowned, glancing toward the door. "Where's Evan?" "I sent him elsewhere. Something urgent." "Urgent? At this hour?" she muttered. He leaned casually against the table. "I wonder what was so urgent about you needing wine tonight. Still, perhaps you'll hear me out over a drink." He poured her a glass, which she took and emptied at once. "So you enjoy wine?" he asked. "Yes, from time to time. I was too nervous earlier to drink at all." A hint of amusement crossed his face. Strange, you didn't seem nervous. Sally swirled the wine. Everyone was watching, waiting for me to stumble. How could I not be nervous? The Duke watched her closely. Her calm in public had not been as effortless as it seemed. Finally, he spoke. Sally? She met his gaze. Yes? He reached into his pocket. To be honest, I have something for you. Her eyes widened slightly. A gift? Sally held the small wrapped box with uncertainty. What is this? She asked. Duke Esteban set the gift before her. You were remarkable today. This is your reward. She hesitated before opening it. A reward? I don't want anything from him, she thought. Inside was a chocolate rose. Her eyes widened. This is Choy de Rain's signature dessert? The one everyone says you must taste before you die? She touched the delicate petals in awe. Its detail, its sweetness. This is their most famous creation. How did you think of getting this? Esteban's voice was steady. Didn't you say once that sweets are the best reward? Sally blinked. I did say that, she admitted softly, but I never thought he'd remember, or even sympathize. In her past life, his rewards had always been silver or gold, never something this small or thoughtful. It feels strange to receive this from you, Your Grace. He met her gaze. It's only natural to give a fitting reward to someone who did well. Warmth bloomed in Sally's chest as she looked at the rose. I like this gift, she said gently. Her words made Esteban's heartbeat quicken. Sally hesitated, then asked, Your Grace, do you really have no feelings toward the madam? The air tightened. What? His tone carried warning. Sally pressed on. I always wondered if you truly had no affection for Elise. I couldn't ask you in my previous life, but now. She faltered, regretting it. Why am I asking this? I must be drunk. None, Esteban said flatly, his expression dark. Even though she's your wife? His voice hardened. Must I acknowledge a woman who married only for the family's name? Sally lowered her gaze. But for a noble lady? Isn't that natural? I don't want to discuss this further. That's enough. She studied him quietly. His hatred? No, it's more than that. Something deeper. Something I don't know, and maybe don't need to. The next morning, the maids buzzed with gossip in the indoor garden. Did you see her? She's too beautiful. It's inhuman. And that waist, even in a corset, how is that possible? Daisy stormed past them, her expression sour until she found Sally outside. Why are you upset, Daisy? Sally asked. Because you're too popular, miss. The maids can't stop talking about you. Some even asked me to switch positions with them, but I'll never leave you. Sally smiled. So, you're worried someone will steal me from you? Daisy flustered. No, I was just... Sally chuckled warmly. Don't worry, I like you, Daisy. I'll rely on you the whole time I'm here. Daisy's relief was immediate. Then I was complaining for nothing. Honestly, I'm happy too when people call you beautiful. Sally laughed softly. What a sweet child. Then her expression shifted. Is there a letter for me today? Daisy hesitated. I checked, but the basket was empty. Sally sighed. Not even one invitation? So many stared at me that day, but not a single letter arrived. Did Elise interfere? Without invitations, I'll never step into high society by myself. Attending with the Duke isn't enough. I want my own invitation. Then I'll have to make them send one. At a nobles' meeting, whispers rippled through the hall. Was that lipstick on Duke Esteban's collar? Impossible. He looks completely unfazed. Does he even realize? Gasps followed. It must be from his mistress. Esteban sat calmly, ignoring the stares. Sally, is this your doing? Earlier that morning, he had been about to leave for a trip when Evan followed him to the carriage. I hope you have a safe journey, Your Grace. Right. Report if anything happens. Keep special watch on the side wing. Your Grace, please wait. Sally's voice rang out as she approached with a smile. In daylight, her beauty struck him like never before. What is it? He asked. I regret sending you off so casually before. Today, I wanted to properly bid you farewell so you'll travel safely. Esteban narrowed his eyes. Fake. She's never shown me this side in private. Still, he said, a farewell like this I'll accept any. He stopped as she leaned in. Her lips brushed his collar. Evan and the coachman stiffened in shock. Her voice was soft. I don't want you to forget me. Not even when you're busy. Back at the nobles' gathering, Esteban sat silently, aware of every rumor sparking around him. She wants them to believe I've completely fallen for my mistress. That's her plan. His jaw tightened. But why? Does it bother me so much? One morning, Daisy entered the room carrying a stack of envelopes. Miss Sally, look at all the invitations you've received. Sally blinked at the pile. Oh my, that's quite a lot. Which one will you reply to first? Daisy asked eagerly. I'll need to go through them carefully, Sally replied, opening each letter one by one. She was looking for a host bold enough not to bow to Lady Ellisie's influence. Then her eyes narrowed as she paused on a particular envelope. This one. At Baroness Juliet Rosebell's estate, the tea party was already underway. Welcome, Madame Seton, Lady Adriana, Baroness Rosebell, the hostess greeted with a polished smile. It's been a while. I'm looking forward to today, her guests replied politely. Juliet's lips curved slightly. I'll do my best to make it enjoyable. As the ladies settled, quiet whispers moved through the garden. Juliet observed with satisfaction. Inviting the Duke's mistress was a wise move. Everyone is cautious of Madame Elise, which is why no one else dared. Now even those who usually ignore my invitations have come. Her amusement grew as Lady Amy hurried toward her. Juliet, is she here? Juliet gave her a look. Lady Amy, please compose yourself, and call me Baroness Rosebell. But Amy only scanned the crowd. She isn't here yet? Juliet arched a brow. Who are you looking for? Amy leaned close, lowering her voice. Her, Duke Esteban's mistress. Everyone's talking about her. Juliet smirked. Sally? She said she'd come. She'll arrive soon. Amy's eyes brightened. Oh, so her name is Sally. But shouldn't she have a title? She doesn't, Juliet replied smoothly. What else would you call her? Amy hesitated. Still, it sounds rude. Juliet scoffed lightly. Amy, don't be so cautious. Mistress or not, she's a commoner who used to be a maid. Without the Duke, she has no standing. The chatter around them suddenly stilled. Amy turned quickly toward the entrance, and Juliet followed her gaze. Sally stood at the doorway, composed and graceful. She moved with quiet confidence, her presence commanding attention. Baroness Rosebell, thank you for the invitation, she said. I'm Sally, from the House of Esteban. Juliet's smile stiffened before she smoothed it over. I see you managed to arrive on time. Sally only smiled, recalling Juliet's ambition in her past life. Amy stepped forward, overly polite. Hello, I'm Amy, from the Lawrence family. Nice to meet you, Lady Amy, Sally replied. Amy's gaze lingered on Sally's frame. You're so tall. I heard you're younger than me, but your height makes you seem older. Juliet added with a smirk. Unfortunate, isn't it? Looking older than your age. Juliet, that's not what I meant, Amy whispered. Embarrassed, Juliet ignored her and turned back to Sally. Isn't this your first noble tea party? After all, you were once a maid. Yes, Sally answered evenly. That's why I'm looking forward to today. Juliet faltered. She'd expected unease, but Sally remained calm. Back at the Esteban estate, Duke Esteban reviewed documents in his study. Evan, where's Sally? Evan hesitated. She went out, Your Grace. The Duke set down his pen. Where? She accepted Baroness Rosebell's invitation to a tea party. A faint smirk crossed Esteban's face. Oh, that's today? Fitting. Pardon? What's fitting? Evan asked. Nothing, the Duke replied. Then he stood, adjusting his coat. We're heading to the market. There's something I need to take care of. At the tea party, Juliet tapped her teaspoon lightly against her cup. Thank you all for coming. Please enjoy the refreshments. Her eyes flickered toward Sally, who was seated at the far end. At least she knows her place, Juliet thought. But Sally, in truth, was relieved to sit away from the main seats. Juliet turned to another guest. Countess Seton, your dress is exquisite. Was it from Mariette's? Yes, the lady answered. I knew it, Juliet said, pleased. Their new collection is unmatched. Then, with her voice carrying just enough, she shifted back toward Sally. Of course, all noblewomen know Mariette's designs. Sally, you must have missed the latest trends. Oh, but perhaps your time as a maid left you with different tastes. Your dress seems influenced by performers. Another woman added sharply. Indeed, trying too hard to look alluring is unbecoming, even for a mistress. It doesn't suit the Esteban name. Aren't you embarrassed? Juliet sighed with feigned concern. I only say this for your own good. Sally's calm smile didn't waver. I suppose it may look that way, though this dress was personally commissioned for me by Duke Esteban from Lady Kimura of Mariette. Juliet's cup shook slightly in her hand. That was designed by Mariette? Thank you for watching this episode of our Manhwa Recap. We hope you enjoyed diving into the world of this story with us. If you loved the content, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring you even more amazing manhwa recaps. See you in the next episode.